Lesson 27. Activity 5.
How many different animals have you got here in this zoo?
Well, we've got about 200 different species altogether.
And how did you get the idea to start this zoo?
It was started by my father, really. He used to keep a pet shop in London, but he got fed up with that and decided he wanted to start a zoo. It was almost like a hobby at first, but then it grew, and now the whole family work here.
I see. Some people say that zoos are cruel places. What do you say to that?
Well, this is now a very old-fashioned idea. In fact, I prefer to call this a wildlife breeding centre rather than a zoo, because our main aim here is to preserve and propagate animals, especially those which one day may be threatened with extinction. The animals here all have enclosures according to their needs. So some animals have tall enclosures because they need to climb, while others have long enclosures because they need to run. I get annoyed with those who think that enclosures are like prisons. They don't understand what we're trying to do here. Zoos used to be exclusively entertainment centres, but Linton is a centre for the preservation of species which has become necessary because of the thoughtlessness and greed of the human race. There are so many animals which are at the present threatened with extinction, such as the panda, the tiger, the rhinoceros, for example.
So the main aim of the zoo is to preserve species?
Yes, that's right. But we also hope to educate the public by giving them more information about the animals. Some animals have been badly represented in the popular imagination. I'm thinking of the typical horror films, for example, where spiders, sharks, bats, snakes, etc. always seem to be terrifying creatures which attack or threaten humans, whereas in reality they don't.
These animals don't attack humans?
No, they only attack when their lives are threatened by humans. Secondly, we want to educate people to appreciate their environment and learn what needs to be done to protect it. Some people still buy animal furs of threatened species, or jewellery made of ivory from elephant tusks, or ashtrays made from gorilla's feet. So long as people can do this, we still have work to do.
Which of these animals have you bred successfully here?
Oh, nearly all of them have bred, except those which are too young to breed. Our biggest triumph of recent years was the Toko toucan, as we were the first zoo to achieve this. The Toko toucan comes from Brazil, and is rather difficult to breed from, as it's a very clumsy bird and manages to break its eggs quite often. Our pair, called Pablo and Benita, broke all three of their first clutch of eggs, and we were lucky to rescue one egg from their second clutch, which we eventually hatched in an incubator. They are also rather expensive to keep, as they must be kept at a warm temperature. So we have to keep them in a heated enclosure with special bushes and plants. And then they like fresh fruit and vegetables, which they eat vast quantities of.
What problems do you have in keeping this zoo?
Well, it is expensive to run. We have to feed all the animals, obviously, and then provide enclosures for them all. For example, our enclosure for the Sumatran tiger cost £30,000. Then we have to pay our staff, we have to pay for electricity, for facilities which the public expect, for occasional vet bills and so on. 2 years ago, we had to spend a lot of money for repairs to buildings caused by floods and a hurricane.
Well, thank you for talking to us, and we wish you luck with the zoo in the future.